your screen.
Okay, great.
The sound
Okay,
is
so
good.
today, okay, thanks. So today we're going to do a very, very important chapter in IT networking. We call it the router. Uh, so remember what we did before? We did the switch already. Uh, you know how to configure these things. And anyway, we're going to do a lot of labs. So let us clear some theory, then I'll give you some project to be done. So the OSI model, remember, layer one, physical layer, anything related to a media, cabling, wireless, network cable, fiber, data link, anything related to a switch, MAC address, frames. Now we are doing layer three, the network layer, anything related to IP address and the router. So now you understand why I started chapter 11 for IP address. At least we know already what is IP address. We can have time to focus on the router. So as you know, the router is a device. So all the PCs in the network we are all connected to a switch, and the switch is connected to a router to go to internet. So the router is a device that knows the destinations. Let's say you are a new student, or let's say you got a job, and you go to the address, you go to a building, and before you enter, there is a security guard, and you tell him, "Hi, sir, I'm going to company, let's say to CPT company," and that security guard knows where to send you to. He knows the route. Say, okay, go to the first floor. Another one will come. "Hi, sir, I'm going to MTN." Say, okay, go to the third floor. So you see, so a router is a device who knows where to send your packet or your data to the internet. It knows the route or the path of the networks, and that's why we see the router. So last time at Cape Town Science Center, we did know how to configure interface. So to configure G0000, you open your router, you tap no, enable, conft, then you go to the interface, G0, you must make sure of the name, IP address, according to what that will be given to you, subnet mask. You see, now you understand what is subnet mask, then no shutdown, no shut. This is how we configure an interface. Also, you know how to save, do, copy, run start. You also know how to view all report on your router, show IP interface brief. If you tap show IP interface brief, it will display all your port that are available on your router. So we can see that this router doesn't have serial port. If you see Ethernet, 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 it means you connect a normal network cable. So this normal network cable is for office use only. Now, if you want to interconnect two routers, like I did show you last time, you open your router, you go to physical, you can zoom in, you can see we have open slot here. So these ports are for normal network cables to connect to a router, to a switch or what. You can have a serial port. But if you want to interconnect two routers, you need to buy a serial module. So you can power off. You see the module here. The first one, when you click on it, you'll see a picture down on your at the bottom right. You see, then you put it there. You can put a second one if you want to. You buy them and you put them there. You power on again your router. You go to CLI. As you know, anytime you have questions, unmute yourself. Feel free to ask your question. You tell us your name and ask your question. Me, I like questions because it also helps me to explain more. Now, I tap enable. So what command should I type to view all the ports available on my router? Okay, so it's show IP interface brief. If I press enter, now you can see that now I have some serial ports. So with serial ports, we are used to connect router to router. So it's something that we'll be doing on the next time we meet at the Cape Town Science Center. In fact, let me see if I can. But on my router, I don't have a serial port. I don't have a serial module. Cisco router 1900. Let me see. Can I buy on take alert? Take alert. Mhm. I don't think that we have. No, we don't have. Let me check on Amazon. Someone is selling this. No, I see serial module. Okay, anyway, sorry, my routers that I have, I don't have serial. Okay, I'll try to find a plan B and see what we can do. Yeah. So now, yeah. So network layer, let's check what we can do there. Network layer. So we'll talk about IPv6 later, chapter 12. Okay, anything else? So we are at layer 3. The name of the packet, we find it here, we call a segment. So I'll give you what is the most important. So IPv4, okay, if you open it, you'll see some stuff there. Not too much important. I'll explain a bit later when we meet also at I need to do some demo, physical demo. So IPv6, it's like cell phone numbers. We have 10 digits. So if it's finished, we can create another type of cell phone number, becoming maybe 20 digits and 20 or 14 digits. So IPv4 is almost finished. That's why we created IPv6. So you can read this one. We'll do that at chapter 12. Okay, we continue. So no worries for that. Let's focus on what is more important. Okay, we know what a default gateway is. Okay, this we can do later. Okay, so in a router, there is something called um, one second. I'm checking something in. Okay, so in a router, there is something called a table. Like for a switch, we have MAC address table. In the router, we have uh, routing table. What does it mean? If I type show IP route, press enter, it will list the destinations he knows about. So for here, he knows only one destination, 62.0. Now, if you see this one, it's 62.0, you see it's directly connected. If you see C, so all these letters, it means how this network has been registered here. So it has been registered here because it's automatically connected. You see here, C. If you see C, it's connected. If you see L, it means it's the IP address of that interface. G0. So this is, and if you type show IP route, you're going to know all the route here. Let me do a demo again for you. I'm going, so you see here, for example, we did last time. If you have serial port on this router, serial port, you use a serial cable, and this one is red. This one I'm going to remove it. Delete. So if you use this Giga Ethernet port, you use a normal network cable. A normal network cable. So now, and the port on the router, we have fast Ethernet port, Gig Ethernet. Anything Ethernet is the normal network cable. Giga Ethernet is more faster. We also have a console port on the router and a serial port. So now today we're going to work a bit on the networks and the routes. It's very simple, but so if I connect these two routers, I'm going to use for now, I'll make it simple for now. I have a switch here. I have another switch here. And I put a PC, laptop here. And a PC down there. And I'm going to connect them, interconnect them. So in real life, people will use internet, we don't know what's happening in the background. For us, we build the background, we design, and we fix. This is network engineers. So this is a network that is here, and we have another network. So here, I'll call it 192.10.10.0 network. Between the two routers, I'll call it 192.20.20.20.0, and here 192.30.30.0. So we have three networks. This network is 10.0.0 between the two routers. And this side, let me make it. And this side. So we have three networks. So I'm going to configure the interfaces. So if I click on the router, I go to CLI, I tap no, I tap enable, I tap show IP routes to my routing table. You can see that there is no networks. I didn't configure anything, so there is no destinations we know about. So I'm going to configure G0000 conft interface G000 IP address 192.20.20.2. Oh, sorry. 255.255.255.0. No shut. I exit. I go to the other one, interface G01. I type IP address 192.10.10.1. All these details will be given to you in your questions paper. No shut. No shut. So I finish this router. I save, do copy, run, start. Then this is how we configure router interfaces. You go to the exact name, the correct name that is displayed on that router, and you add the IP address and no shut. Then you save. Let's go to the other router. Here you tap no. If you want to ask your questions, enable conft hostname R2 interface. Let me check the interfaces. Okay, 00 and 001. Okay, the same thing. One 2022. Oh, sorry. I'll go to the other interface. Interface G0. IP address. Are we still together now? I hope the network is not disconnected. Okay, we're still on. IP address 192.30.30.1. No shut. Okay, so we configured the two, do copy, run start. So we just configured. So next time we meet at Cape Town Science Center, we'll do again. I'll bring the routers and you'll configure again the interfaces. Now let us see the route that we know each other. So I can end here, show IP route to view the content of the network he knows. So you see, he knows two networks. Sorry, he knows the 10, sorry, the 10.0 network. It means he knows this network. Why? Because this network is directly connected to the interface. He knows also this network because it's directly connected to G000, to the interface via G000. This network is directly connected via G001. You see, that's why if you see the first network 10.0, you see C, it's connected, directly connected via this interface. If you see L, it's the IP address of that interface. The router also knows the network 20.0, that network that is between the two routers. You see, C, it means it's directly connected via that interface. And if you see L, it means it's the IP address of that interface. So this is, but now you see, this router knows 10.0, it knows 20.0, but it doesn't know 30.0. It means if this guy wants to communicate with the other guy, it's impossible. Why? Because he doesn't know the destination. Let us do a demo. I'm going to put an IP here, desktop, IP configuration, 192. Sorry. Okay. Here, I do the same thing. Okay. So let's see if these two guys, we can ping each other. I go to command prompt. I type ping 192.168. Dot. Let me check if I can ping myself 10.2. And I made a mistake. 10.10.2. Okay, I can ping myself. What does it mean? I send 4 packets to myself. I receive my sorry, I receive back. It means the link is working nicely. 0% loss. So I can ping myself. Let me check if I can ping the other guy. So the other guy, the other PC is 30.30.2. You see now, the destination unreachable. Why? Because this network is not known to my router. 30.0. You see, if I open, I know 10.0 network, I know 20.0, but I don't know 30.0. So I cannot help you. Like you go to a building and you tell them, according to my GPS, this is the building I need to come. I want to go to a company ABC. The security guy will say, sorry, I'm not to ABC, I cannot help you. I cannot allow you in. You see, because I don't know. So if a router doesn't know where to forward your packets, it cannot help. So now there is something called static routes. That you're going to do now. static routing. How to fix that? We're going to do static routing. Static routing is what? Is to add a remote network in the router routing table. So you must write manually, you must add manually the remote network in the router routing table. So how we do that? We go to that router, it's R1, the remote network, you see, we tap IP route, the remote network, we add it, subnet mask via next hop, the IP address of next hop. So if I'm R1 and I want to go there, my next router, my next hop is R2. So I put this IP address here. You see. So this is how we add manually a remote network in a router routing table. So have a look, very important, can read, check, and we continue. Okay, let's continue. So this is what we're going to do now. So what we're going to do now, we are going to manually add this network in the router network, in the router routing table. We call it static route, or we add manually. So I open my router because I want to configure. I tap conft, then I tap IP route, and I add the remote network 192.30.30.0 subnet mask that will be given to you. You see? So this is the remote network and its subnet mask. Now, the third element is the next hop IP. So this is router, and if I want to go to this network, I need to go via this guy. We call it the next hop router. So I need to add the next hop router IP. It means G00 of router 2. So the IP address of G000 for this guy is 192.20.20.2. I press enter. IP route 192.20.20.2. You see what? Invalid next hop IP. Let me check something. So you see, sometimes we need to troubleshoot. Let me exit. Show IP interface brief. .20.2, and now this one is what? And show IP interface brief. As I put the IP address twice, so I need to change this one. The other one should be 1. I'm going to change it here, and I'm going to change it. Conft interface G000. So if you want to remove a IP address, you tap no IP address. I want to remove You see, I want to remove this one and add a new one. So if you want to remove, you go to that interface and you type no IP address, you save. Do copy, run, start. You check again, show IP interface brief, and you can see that on that interface, I did remove IP. I'm going to add the correct one, conft IP interface G000 IP address 192.20.20.1. No shot. And I save, do copy, run, start. Exit, exit, show IP interface brief. Okay, now the IP address is correct. Now I'll go back to configure my static root. So I type IP root, the remote network 192.30.30.0, 255.255.255.0. Now the next hop is the router 2 interface 192.30.30. No, not 30.20. That's why sometimes you see when you do your stuff, it's good to add the IP addresses. You take a sticker and you put the IP so that you won't make a mistake. You see? Yeah, so that you know that G000, this is it. Yeah, you see, it's easier. PC1 also you put the IP. This guy you put. You see. So it's good to add IP addresses. Okay, so I did add this remote network in my router via the next hop IP address. My next hop router is router 2, and this is the IP address. I go to my router 30, next hop is 2020.2. You see now all good. I save, do, copy, run, start. And now I tap show IP route to view my routing table. You see. Now you can see that I have the third network, 30.0 has been added. How it has been added here, S. S stands for static. It means this network has been registered in the routing table manually, or is called static route. So check again and we continue. Okay, we continue. Okay, so this is something new that we will be doing the day we meet at. So when we meet, we'll switch the MAC address table, and also yeah, we're going to do a lot of stuff. It will be end of April. I'll confirm 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks before. I'll let you know that, guys, in 3 weeks time or in 2 weeks time we'll be meeting. So I did this. I'm going to do the same thing on the other router. This router doesn't know this network because it's remote. So we need to manually add it. We call it static route. So I open this router. I'll show IP route. Press enter. You see this router knows only two routes, 20.0 between the two routers, 30.0. You see, directly connected. CC, it means directly connected. You see, he knows this route, this network, because it's directly connected. He knows this network is directly connected via G001, but he doesn't know this one. So we need to manually add inside. So we call it static route. I click, I tap, because I want to configure conft IP route, the remote network 192.1. Subnet mask 255.255.255.0, and the next hop IP. So this router to come here, he needs to go via router 1. And this is the IP here, 2021. 192.2021. You save, do, copy, run start, and show IP routes to view the content of your routing table. Now you can also see S, mean static. So now he knows the 10.0 network, how this network is here via S, static. It means it has been manually added. Now let's check if these two routers, if these two PCs, we can now ping each other. I open here, command prompt. So before, destination unreachable. Now if I press enter, let's wait and see. Okay, I do a check again. Okay, see now I have 0% loss. It means now these two PCs can communicate. So this is something how when you want to communicate with someone far in the internet, when your packet will arrive, the router will see, where do you come from? I come from 10.2. Where do you want to go? I want to go to 30.2. The router will see in his routing table, do I know the network 30.0? Yes. Then it will send. See? If it doesn't know, it will block you. So, yeah, so let's stop for today. Let me check. Yeah, so it's finished. Next time, so this one is manually added. And at a later stage, we'll see another way of how these networks are added in the routing table. We call it dynamic routing table. So for now, check this one again. Check this one again. And another way to register remote networks in a routing table, we call it dynamic routing. Router 1 and router 2, we're going to talk to each other to exchange route. The router 1 might know 10 routes. Router 2 might know, let's say 50 routes. So we're going to exchange, compare what I don't have, I take, what I have, I keep, so that we have the same 50 dynamic routing table. We'll do that a bit later. No. So normally that's all for chapter 8. What a router is, how to add serial ports, how to configure an interface, how to configure a static route. Yeah, so if you know that, it's fine. So let me check my questions here. Go to chapter 8. What's the difference between static route and dynamic route? Static route, a remote network is manually added, manually configured in the routing table. Dynamic route, it has a route that is added in the routing table via a dynamic routing table, via a dynamic routing protocol. We'll check that a bit later. Yeah. Okay, so that's all for today. Any questions? Any questions? We have Fabienne, we have gifts. Nsipa, Ngozi, Baswa, Salomon, and Trésor. Any questions? So today is the
Yes,
last
teacher.
one for today.
Fabian want to ask a question here.
Yes, Fabienne, yes.
Yeah, my question goes like this. I follow what you were doing, but you mentioned most of the remote the remote route. So are this going to be done in a distance, or when you will be given the route and to configure it remotely distance in a distance, or maybe it's just a technical word that you are using?
No, so let's say, for example, I'm here in South Africa, and you, Fabienne, you were, let's say, a network engineer at Embassy of United States in Congo. So I'm here and I want to contact the American Embassy in Congo, but it says access denied or destination unreachable. It means my router cannot help me to reach you. And I'm going to call you, Fabian, please, what is your network IP address? Okay, this is my network IP address. And me, I'm going to add manually in my routing table for me now to access your network. See? So if you want to add a remote network, you open your router and you configure, you as the network engineer, you add manually. Yeah, so I don't know if I answer your question.
Yes, you answer the question. And without the serial cable, are we still gonna get the proper network, or
Yes.
is it only this the Ethernet that is? I mean,
Mm.
what my question
I
is,
know
if we use Ethernet cable, are we still gonna get the proper network?
yes. So for now, we use a normal network cable, a Ethernet cable. If you're in a class or we're doing lab at Cape Town Science Center, you're going to do one team will be here, another team will be here, and you should be able to ping each other. So in a company, but to interconnect two remote routers, we use serial cable. Yeah, so no worries. When you are employed, the network engineer was there, will do that, or your ISP, your internet service provider, will bring his box. So, one second. So, if you work in a company, let's say Telcom is your service provider, will bring in your company a small box like that, a Telcom box, and you use your serial cable to connect to the box, and will allow you to go to the cloud, to go to DRC. DRC also there, the internet service provider there have a small box, a small. So this is how it works. They have also a small box. Yeah. So in real life, you won't see two routers connected. No, you're connected via your ISP. Then it goes to the cloud. The cloud means anything beyond you cannot see. You see only Telcom here. Now Telcom, they know how to communicate with your ISP in Congo. That's why we say internet service provider. Now these two, we're going to talk to each other. So the router will bring to Telcom. Telcom now will manage to contact your ISP. You see? No. Then your ISP will forward data to you. It's like post office. When you drop your parcel at post office, your post office will send to DRC post office, and from there will send your parcel to you, which is how it works. So to make it simple, we remove all these things and we say these two routers are talking together. But always we use the serial cable. The normal Ethernet cable, it's only in class, in a lab, or to play around. But in real life, it's this one. Any other questions? Feel free to ask questions.
Sorry, sorry, sir. Still, Fabian, I want to ask a question again on the switches. You spoke to us that we have to connect. There's no other way. We have to connect to one after the other. I mean, to configure one after the other. Is it the same rules applies to the routers as well?
And for the switch, there is no much configurations. You plug your PC, you plug all your PCs to a switch, then you connect the switch to a router. That's all. The big configuration we do is on the router, and we're going to do that a lot. So the switch will bring the PCs in one place, then the switch will get connected to the router. Everything, mostly 80% is done here on the router.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, so we're going to do a lot of practicals that will allow you to understand more. Yeah, so this training is international. The same content is international, certificate international. So you can work anywhere, any company in IT. That's why CCN is very well respected. When you have it, it means you know a lot. And from there, you can add cybersecurity, you can add artificial intelligence, anything else you want, but everything starts from CCNA. So this year, I'm going to run 2 sessions of cybersecurity. I'll start one in June and another one when you finish in September. I'll run also one session of cybersecurity. So if you do IT essentials, you do Cisco CCNA, you do cybersecurity, it means you're very, very, very good to, you have to be an excellent network engineer. Okay, thank you so much, guys. If no other questions, I'm going to post the recording tomorrow, yeah, so that you can watch again. And if you have questions, I'm still around all the time. You can post your question, ask your question in the group, and your question will help us to discuss each other. Thank you so much. Have a good evening, and see you next time. Huh?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mark.